Sierra Hartsell. Raise your hand. How many of you have switched schools at least once in your childhood? Like you just went to a different school at some point. Okay, a couple. How many, like 2 times? 3 times? Nobody? 3 times?
Do you mean
Like just like switching different like counties, like just going to a different school, having to move and go to a different school. I'm typically the last person with my hand raised when that question is asked because I've gone to 8 different schools in my childhood. Keep in mind there are 12 grades and I've gone to 8 different schools, so I have moved a lot. The reason is I am a military brat, which is a term that I hated when I was a kid. Whenever someone would say military brat, I was like, why are we called that? We didn't choose that. What makes us a brat? I hated it. Up until I became an adult and I came to love that term and love the fact that I am a military brat. So this is my black and white photo that was supposed to be a color photo of my dad. He's actually younger than me in this picture. This was after he graduated from boot camp of the Marine Corps, so he's 18 years old in this picture. Whenever I look at that picture, I'm just so proud because, you know, my dad, I'm 20 now, my dad's younger than me in that picture, and I'm so proud of everything that he's done. Tonight, I'm going to explain to you what my experience as a military brat looked like and how at 20 years old it still affects me today. So first, I'm going to talk about my personal background, my rundown of that, and why I struggle with the word home. Second, I'm going to discuss the differences between military lifestyle and civilian lifestyle. And lastly, I'm going to conclude with how I came to realize that this lifestyle gives me a one-up on everybody else. So to begin, I struggle with the word home because when that word home is mentioned, I don't have anything that comes to mind. A lot of people have a house or a backyard or a swing set or something that comes to mind. Someone says home, nothing comes to mind. I literally just see H-O-M-E in my head because I don't really have a home. I have lived in many places, but they were just places to me. They were just a place to eat, a place to sleep, a place to come back to after school. It wasn't any real connection because as a Marine's daughter, we really don't get to choose where we live. The Marine Corps tells you, hey, we're shipping you to Philadelphia or we're shipping you to Denver. You don't really get much say. So I lived in many places, but I don't really have a home. I cringe inside when you do the thing when the school starts the semester and it's like, introduce yourself, where are you from, what's your major? When it gets to the point of where are you from, I don't really know how to answer that because I have like 8 different responses. I'm not sure which one to say. So home is kind of one of those tricky words that I don't have an answer for. Secondly, moving a lot, like I mentioned, 8 different schools. Obviously, I've moved at least 8 different times. That was a routine in my childhood. Every 2 years, TMO would come, pack up our stuff. We would go to our new house. Oftentimes, we would get there before the boxes would. So my family kind of made it a tradition. We'd sleep in my parents' new bedroom, all 6 of us in our sleeping bags on the floor. I can't tell you how many times I've slept in an empty house waiting for our boxes to come to us because we didn't have anything yet. In an article on Psychology Today, it actually talks about there are psychological factors of being a child that moves a lot. And that was very interesting to me. One thing is that when parents are stressed out about their circumstances, which my parents certainly were, moving every 2 years, their parenting skills take a major hit. And every time a parent changes something, a child notices. And looking back over my life, I can see all the times my parents were stressed out. I'm the oldest child of 4, so I'm automatically kind of like the second mom and dad when they aren't around. But especially when they were stressed out, I noticed myself shouldering that burden a lot more than a normal child would. And for that reason, I kind of had to grow up a little faster than everybody else around me. Next, there are a lot of struggles that military brats go through that civilian brats don't really go through. My dad was away a lot, and now I know many other jobs have their parents or their employees, around. So I know there are a lot of other people that are not in military families whose parents weren't always in the picture due to work. But my dad was away a lot on combat trainings and camps and conferences and recruiting all around the States. So he kind of missed a lot of my childhood, and that was kind of difficult to me. He would miss my piano recitals or my softball games or whatever I was involved in. That was kind of hard for me because sometimes you wouldn't really know where your dad was. Army.gov, their official list, actually has a list of mental health issues that military children tend to suffer with. A lot of these, they actually have a quote and I wanted to read it to you. Talking about military children, it says, they are strong and they are resilient. They are adaptable, they are well-traveled and fiercely patriotic. They are bright, inquisitive, and eager to help out. However, they are also children. I thought that was really interesting that the children are going along with their parents for their ride. I was along for every single duty station that my dad had. A lot of these issues that these children suffer with is anxiety. That is the most common disorder that military children suffer with. Another one being depression and sleep problems and higher levels of suicide. My final point is while all of these points have kind of been seemingly depressing and really difficult, I credit my upbringing and my lifestyle for the strength that I have today. At the age of 20, I have met more people than most people will in their entire lifetime. I have little groups of people all over the country that I could call up at any minute and they would do anything for me. I have just made so many connections, and each person that I've met in each location has formed me into who I am today, and I'm so grateful for every single one of those people. Another point is that I am more culturally rounded than most people, having lived in different areas of the country. I was born in Yuma, Arizona. I've lived on both coasts, so I've seen everything all over the U.S. Because of that, I tend to be more accepting of what makes people different because I've been in different cultures, and I can't really say that I'm from one culture. I'm not from the South. I'm not from the North. Again, I don't really know where I'm from. Also, finally, I've learned to depend on myself. Moving a lot is really lonely. You leave relationships often, you form these strong bonds, and then you're forced to leave after 2 years. It's caused me to learn a lot about myself and to realize that I'm a strong person. Now that I'm 20 and my dad retired last year, my military brat life is over, and I still think of it fondly, even the hard times. I still cringe when someone asks me where I'm from or says the word home, but I'm so grateful for this lifestyle that I've had. It's been so worth it. I'd like to end with a quote that my dad has said. He has lots of quotes. Sometimes they're serious, sometimes they're stupid, but this one is my favorite. It's just a simple 3-word phrase called adapt or fail. And it's seemingly simple, but anybody can use it in any circumstance. You often get put in situations that you don't get to choose. That's been my entire life. I haven't really gotten to choose anything. You can either adapt to that situation or you can fail, and I hope that that quote can help you. Thank you.
I have 2 questions.
Okay, go for it.
What are all the states you've lived in?
So North Carolina, Arizona.
Repeat that.
Oh, she asked what all the states I've lived in. We've moved like numerous times.